Good morning. My name is Rachel Relly, and I'm your worship associate for today. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Wayne County. We are a diverse congregation that welcomes you as you are, regardless of your age, ethnicity, race, sexual orientation, gender identity, economic status, or physical ability. We come together to seek deeper meaning and understanding from each other and the world around us. Your presence here today is a gift that brings us closer to that understanding. We are an active community that lives its values beyond the hours of Sunday service, and I would like to call your attention to the following. The UU Church of Akron is sponsoring a Jubilee session with Paula Cole Jones and colleagues on MLK weekend, January 12th through the 14th, 2024. They are inviting all Ohio UU congregations to join them for this important work. You can find more information on the bulletin board in the lobby. Join the humanists today at 11:30 in the large group room. Scott and Karen Armstrong will share a presentation about the effects of a whole food, plant-based diet on health and climate, followed by questions and a discussion. Next Sunday, we will have two services. Our 10 a.m. service will be the standard Sunday service, focusing on the spirit of Christmas. Our 6 p.m. service will be carols and stories, a carol and stories service where we will focus on our favorite Christmas songs, including Silent Night by Candlelight. We hope to see you at either or both. If you would like to find out more about our activities, feel free to ask Karen Skubik, our membership coordinator.
Thank you, Rachel, and good morning, everyone. As I believe the sign says, I am doing the welcoming. Oh, no, that's still up, Rachel up there. But I'd like to welcome any visitors we may have here today. I know we have a couple, and I didn't get to talk to anyone beforehand. This is when we give you the opportunity to introduce yourself if you want to. You don't have to, but that way we can talk to you after the service. I also want to thank everybody that came in and saw the setup of the chairs and said, oh, this is different, and you all found seats just fine, so great. So is there anyone who would like to introduce themselves who might be here for the first, second, or third time? Okay, no, but we're glad you're all here. Thank you for coming.
So this is weird. You're facing each other. And one of the things that Sharon and I were talking about with this service is that so often you face up there and you're focused on one fairly unattractive bald guy. And really, we're about this community, right? And sometimes we need to face each other. And sometimes we need to delight in each other. Today, we're going to be talking about the winter solstice and the importance of the dark, and it can be a meditative time. And welcoming in the darkness is something that a lot of us don't normally do. I want you to notice our chalice is already lit. We're going to do something a little different, and we're going to extinguish our chalice for the service, and then we're going to light it at the end to remind us of leaning into the darkness and the generation and the healing that can happen in that space. So this is going to be a very different service, very calm, very meditative. I've already said to a few people, if you fall asleep, I'm not going to judge. I've had a few people said that if they snore, that they will have somebody tap them on the shoulder to let them know that they can just, readjust themselves. We'll have outlets for CPAPs next time we do this. And one last thing I want to say that's not quite about our service. Yesterday we had a cookie walk as a fundraiser, and I wanted to first give thanks to Aaron Palmer and Barb Taitula for all of the work that they did to make that happen. They raised so far just under $1,000. Yeah. And more importantly, many of you have cookie recipes I need copies of. Also, for those of you who didn't get a chance to get some of those cookies, they are going to have some for sale still after the service. It's $8 a pound and 50 cents per half pound. So 50 cents an ounce, something to that effect. So I encourage you all, if you get the opportunity and you have a little extra cash and you want to get an extra layer for the Christmas season, to see Barb or Aaron after the service. This is our time that we start. This is the time where we start to love on each other. This is the time where we take a deep breath, turn off our cell phones, and put down everything you brought in. Let go of your worries for the week. Let go of your Christmas obligations, your holiday festivities. Take a deep breath and join us now for a time of worship.
Because what we're doing isn't strange enough. So this morning, you're going to sing the prelude. And worse yet, it's a song you don't know. But I will teach it to you. It's very simple. But I need the words. So I'm going to sing the first phrase. You will repeat it. We'll sing the next phrase. You will repeat it. And then we'll have a song. It goes like this. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Here we go. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Let's do that. Return to who you are. Here we go. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Let's do the whole thing now. Return again. Return again. Return to the home of your soul. Return again. Return again. Return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the home of your soul.
Our chalice extinguishing is Celebrating the Darkness by Joe Von Rue. Traditionally, Advent is a time of searching for light in the dark. The pagan tradition of Yule is a celebration of the return of the sun, but darkness is as important as light. The cold dark of winter is as important to life as the bright warmth of summer. Darkness is home to entire ecosystems, places where humans cannot survive. Darkness offers us the gift of rest, healing, hope. It is in the darkness of sleep that our bodies are able to heal and rejuvenate. Darkness offers opportunities for beauty and love to live in our lives. Conception begins in the dark womb. A great prophet was born at night. And the vastness of the universe can only be seen on the darkest of nights. So on this longest of nights, let us welcome the night. Let us give thanks for the life, rest, healing, hope, love, and beauty that are offered to us only in the darkness. Come, beautiful souls, let us worship as we embrace the darkness together.
I don't have an order of service. I didn't realize we weren't singing again. Shaking it up here this morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I think I'm going to put this right in front of me. This morning, I have a poem, and it's 3 pages long. I practiced it, yeah. You bet. But I did not memorize it, so I thought I might, but I did not. So that's where we are this morning with that. All right? So just a few minutes ago, Miss Rachel told us in the piece of poetry that she read that what Yule is. I think she was, yes, what Yule is. And it's part of the, it is the name for the neo-pagan or the pagan celebration of winter solstice. Anybody know what winter solstice is? Anybody down here know what winter solstice is? No? Is it coming? It's going to be here soon. Do you know when? Uh-huh. It's on the, that's right, Elliot, it is. It's on the 21st of December. Are we on? I'm going to let you hold it. Do you have anything else to say about winter solstice? No? Okay. Winter solstice is the, what we call the longest night. Why do you think it's the longest night? Christmas. No, Christmas is the 25th. This is the 21st. It's first, before. So it's the longest night. Have you noticed how like it gets dark out before you even practically get home from school now? Yeah, it's crazy. You don't notice that? I have noticed that. Anybody notice that? Like you get ready to go out and do something and it's like, why would I go out right now? It is dark out, but it's only 5 o'clock. So.
I get out of school at 3:30 and I like to play with my friends at the playground at my school after school, and by the time I leave, which is normally before 4, the sun's already going down.
Yeah, it is. So that night will be the longest night. And then after that, the days will start getting shorter again. Okay? Or longer again. You know, whatever. You know, longer. There will be more daylight. Okay? See? They're listening. They heard me make a mistake. It was a trick. So anyways, the story I have today is about Yule. Okay? And because we're going to be talking about winter solstice later today. So I'm going to read this to you. It was written by someone named C.C. Williford. 'Twas the night before Yuletide, and all through the glen, not a creature was stirring, not a fox, not a hen. A mantle of snow shone brightly that night, as it lay on the ground reflecting moonlight. The fairies were nestled all snug in their beds, unmindful of flurries and Chilean north breeze. The elves and the gnomes were down in their burrows, sleeping like babes in their soft earthen furrows. When lo, the earth moved with a thunderous quake, causing chairs to fall over and dishes to break. Then they raced to the river where they usually meet. What happened, they wondered. They questioned. They probed. As they shivered in their nightclothes, some bare-armed, some robed. What caused the earth shudder? What caused her to shiver? Then what to their wondering eyes should appear? but a shining gold light in the shape of a sphere. It blinked and it twinkled, it winked like an eye, then it flew straight up and was lost in the sky. Before they could murmur, before they could bustle, there emerged from the crowd with a swish and a rustle, a stately old crone with her hand on a cane, resplendent in green with a flowing white mane. As she passed by them, the old crone's perfume, smelling of meadows and flowers abloom, made each of the Fey folk think of the spring when the earth wakes from her slumber and the birds start to sing. "My name is Gaia," the old crone proclaimed, in a voice that at once was both wild and untamed. "I've come to remind you, for you seem to forget, that Yule is the time of rebirth. And yet, I see no hearth fires, hear no music, no bells. The air isn't filled with rich, fragrant smells of baking and roasting and simmering stews, of cider that's mulled or other hot brews. There aren't any children at play in the snow or houses lit up by the candles' glow. Have you forgotten, my children, the fun of celebrating the rebirth of the sun?" She looked at the Fey folk, her eyes going round as they shuffled their feet and they stared at the ground. Then she smiled the smile that brings light to the day. "Come, my children," she said, "let's play." They gathered the mistletoe and they gathered the holly. They threw off the drab and they drew in all the jolly. They lit a big bonfire and they danced and they sang. They brought out the bells and they clapped and they rang. They strung lights on the trees and bows, oh, so merry, in colors of cranberry, bayberry, and cherry. They built giant snowmen and adorned them with hats. Then surrounded them with snowbirds and snow cats and snow bats. Then just before dawn, at the end of their fest, the Fey folk, they gathered round their favorite oak tree and welcomed the sun 'neath the tree's finery. They were just reaching home when suddenly it came. The gold light returned like an arrow-shot flame. It lit on the treetop where they could see from afar. The golden light sphere turned into a star. The old crone just smiled at the beautiful sight. "Happy Yuletide, my children," she whispered. "Good night." And that is our story for today. 'Twas the night before Yuletide. Have you ever heard any story like that before? No, I know, me either. That's why I wanted to share it with you. Do you know, they said a couple words in there. There's the Fey folk. Who are the Fey folk? Do you know, Elliot, who the Fey folk are? No? Anybody? The Fey folk, that's... Nature spirits. The nature spirits, right. Exactly. And that's who Gaia was talking to. We are going to, that's beautiful ribbon. We are going to move out to our class. And we'll sing the children. The children have a solstice celebration in their class today. Everybody, right, there's a phone right here. So someone has left their phone.
Good to have the Fey folk up on the chancel doing their dances. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that they feel comfortable enough to do that. That says a lot. That says a lot. Shortest day of the year. It's coming right up. 21st. Sun will rise at 7:55 a.m. and set at 4:49. 9 hours, almost 9 hours of daylight. I don't know about you all, but I get real cranky if I don't have enough daylight. I do not have seasonal affective disorder, but I do have a yen for some sunlight and some warmth every once in a while. And if we're going to have this kind of weather, can we please have it be snow instead of rain? Thank you, global warming, for all that you do. But this is the time of year at dark where we kind of feel called to slow down. And how many of you have been slowing down over the past few weeks? How many of you have had to go to 25 different holiday parties? We got some people who've like, I am staying home. I am not doing the holiday parties. I'm taking care of myself. And I know that there are probably a few of you who have had to go to 1 or 2 or 12 obligations and maybe do all of the Christmas shopping and then maybe decorate the house and then maybe find a pet sitter for your vacation and maybe do all of the things and wondering, is this the slowdown time? There's so much busyness, right? Have you seen downtown? The lights, they're beautiful, right? They're absolutely beautiful. And yet, it's one of those things where it seems to be we are chasing away the darkness. This is the time of year where we work so hard to chase away that stillness and that silence. And sometimes we need to remember how important it is to lean into that and just how nurturing that can be. I want to share with you a story which I am going to read, and it does not rhyme, about a turtle. And this was written by Gail Boss. And I want you to try to imagine the imagery of this story. I want you to just relax, take a deep breath, and just be in the moment. The day is bright and warm for December 1st, but the logs in the marsh pond are bare. Spring to summer into early fall, they served on sunny days as a spa to a dozen or so painted turtles. Basking, splay-legged, they would stretch their leathery necks out full length, avid for every luscious atom of sunlight and sun warmth. Out of sight now, they've not escaped the harsher cold that's coming. The waters may be waist deep in this pond, but a murky soup, clogged with roots and plants. One day in fall, as water and air cooled at some precise temperature, an ancient bell sounded in the turtle brain. A signal. Take a deep breath. Each creature slipped off her log and swam for the warmer muck bottom, stroking her way through the woven walls of plant stems. She found her bottom place. She closed her eyes, dug into the mud. She buried herself. And then, pulled into her shell, encased in darkness, she settled into a deep stillness. Her heart slowed and slowed to almost stopping. Her body temperature dropped and stopped just short of freezing. And now, beneath a layer of mud, beneath the weight of frigid water and its skin of ice and a skim of snow. Everything in her has gone so still that she does not need to breathe. And anyway, the iced-over pond will soon be empty of oxygen. Sunk in its bottom mud for 6 months, she will not draw air into her lungs. To survive a cold that would kill her, or slow her so that predators would kill her, she slows herself beyond breath in a place where breath is not possible. And she waits. As ice locks in the marsh and howling squalls batter its reeds and brush, beneath it all, she waits. It is her one work, and it is not easy. Oxygen depletion stresses every particle of her. Lactic acid pools in her bloodstream. Her muscles begin to burn. Her heart muscle, too. A deadly sign. That acid needs to be neutralized. And calcium is the compound to do it. So out of her bones, then out of her shell, her body pulls calcium, slowly dissolving her structure, her shape, her strength. But to move to escape, to require breath in a place where there is no oxygen would suffocate her. So though she is dissolving, every stressed particle of her stays focused on the silver bead of utter quietude. It is this radical simplicity that will save her. And deep within it, at the heart of her stillness, something she has no need to name, but something that we might call trust. That one day, the world will yet warm again, and with it, her life. I love that imagery of a turtle needing to slow down to that point near death. That time spent at the murky bottom that slowly tears away at her, eating her muscles, her bones, her heart, nearly dissolving her entirety. And yet, every stressed particle stays focused on the silver bead of utter quietude. In order to survive the harsh cold, she needs to trust in the stillness. She needs to find refuge in the darkness of the bottom of the marsh. That dark is the one place where she can rest in order to survive the harshness around her. All she has in that moment is herself. And come spring, she finds that was enough. So often when we are left in those moments of darkness and quietude, sometimes when we're left to that deep introspection, does anyone get a little scared? Does anyone sometimes look at what has been going on in their lives and maybe get a little fearful, a little wary? Sometimes when we have those moments of self-reflection, we are really good at analyzing every stupid thing we've done. Sometimes we're really good at analyzing all of the opportunities that we missed. Sometimes we sit with big questions that are really, really hard to answer. And so sometimes we avoid that quietude. Sometimes we avoid that darkness. But just like that turtle, one of the things we need to remember is those moments are part of us. And in those moments of quietude, we can use those moments to feed ourselves and start anew. We can consume all of the aspects of our life. Those moments of beautiful light, those moments of darkness, the glories, the mistakes, we take them all in. And when we reflect them, we use them to create something better. We use them to be the best versions of ourselves. The moments of darkness and reflection are the moments that nurture us most. They're the moments where we sit in the calm. We ask the deep questions, and we work to be better folks. So I encourage you all, my friends, don't be afraid to go to the bottom of the pond. It might be a little scary. And all you need there is yourself. And know you are enough.
I'm not going to make you sing this time. So, the winter solstice has been celebrated for at least 5,000 years all around the world. Ancient cultures would construct sites that would mark perfectly the moment the sun stood still. I'm sorry, y'all know I get nervous. So, this was a time in the north when dark days meant that cold weather would stretch food and resources. The solstice was the beginning of low light, food rations, indoor living, including their animals, and a time for stories to be told by the fireside. It was the promise that the sun would return to warm the earth so that the animals and food could propagate once again after the season of dark had passed. Many cultures marked the celebration with an all-night bonfire and feast. Now, this was a time of hope and faith, because they would use their food from the larder and roast an animal to celebrate. It was a great sacrifice to use precious food as the colder days lay ahead, and knowing that rations would become sparse as spring approached. It showed a tremendous amount of faith that the sun would again be reborn and allow them to thrive once more. It was the time when the dark would reign for a season. So this morning, I invite you to make a bundle to get us through that time. I don't know why I'm teary. Okay, so on the table in the center, you're going to find some items. And you're welcome to take a bag and fill it with things for the journey. So the first thing you're going to find is a small pine cone, and this will represent something to put in your hearth and burn for heat. There is a branch of cedar. As we turn in the wheel of the seasons, it's always good to practice a cleansing, and this is to represent cleansing. There's a candle to light your journey and to remind the sun to return again. And there is pine. Now, this is spruce, so be really careful. That's the only evergreen I had in my house. And the pine is to remind us that although the earth appears to be dying and dormant, she is not. She's not dying. She's not sleeping. As there's life underneath to which she tends. She keeps the ground under the frost point warm enough to keep roots alive. She provides a space and warmth to hibernating animals. She waits in the mystery of the dark for when the sun will return and warm her again. And the pine is evergreen to remind us that life is always around us. And then last, there are pumpkin seeds. And I invite you to take 2. One is to nourish you on the journey, and one is to hold so that you can plant it, so then you will have food again for next year. So I invite you to create your solstice bundle. Come up. Feel free as you would like, as you may. If there's someone near you that requires assistance, perhaps you can help them, or perhaps you could make a bundle for them. So come get ready for solstice.
Our faith is centered on the belief that we can make this world a better place for all who dwell in it. In order to realize that vision, we need both the motivation and the means. Your donation helps the community put its faith into action by supporting our programming and facilities. All donations collected today that are not specifically marked otherwise will be split with Orville Friendship Meals. Orville Friendship Meals is a nonprofit that serves a free dinner on the second, third, fourth, and fifth Thursday of the month. Thank you, James. Please join me in this unison reading. The words are on the screen. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. Let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others.
Into the dark I go to release my mind and find my soul. We have a few more days till solstice arrives. The dark will continue to come a few minutes earlier every day, and many of us will leave our homes for work in the dark and return from work in the dark. It can be a time when energy feels low and we long for one sunny day. We may go to bed earlier and plug in full spectrum light bulbs to ease the feeling of depression. But I want to encourage you to embrace the dark. The dark is where mystery is found. The dark is where things appear differently. The dark is where we can find those things that hide in the light. Into the dark I go to release my mind and find my soul. Help me, say it with me. Into the dark I go to release my mind and find my soul. If you're willing to take a meditative journey with me, I invite you to do so this morning. I'd like you all to get comfortable, find your center, take a deep breath. And with your first breath, I want you to relieve any stress, any thoughts of things to do later today. Come to the present. Come right here, right now. With the second breath, close your eyes. Shut out the external stimuli. With a third breath, I want you to take a step off your lit porch and step into the place of dark and shadow. When we can't simply rely on our sight to see, we give the rest of our senses an opportunity to come alive and to experience the world. As you begin to walk down a path, notice that you're walking a bit differently. Your steps are less short. You may slide your foot a bit along the earth to feel what's beneath your feet. Sink into your feet. Feel the connection to the earth. She is your mother. Into the dark I go to release my mind and find my soul. The next thing that you may notice is that your eyes are beginning to adjust to the dark, and you're seeing shapes out of your peripheral vision. You can't make out any detail, but you can see shapes and shades of gray and black. When you walk, you need to use the sight on the edge of your eyes to see. Focus. What is there? What is around you? What do you see in the landscape that isn't there in the daylight? Do the trees appear to be connected by their branches? Do you see the shine of the eyes of a night animal? As you look into the sky, do you see all the stars we don't see in the daylight or in cities and towns? The dark permitted us to see the Gemini shooting stars this past week. Look around. Into the dark I go to release my mind and find my soul. Because we can't see with our eyes in the same way, you'll notice other senses sharpening. Do you hear the rustle of the trees or the sound of a scurrying animal on the ground? Can you hear the whoosh of wings as birds of prey begin their night hunt? Perhaps you hear the sound of running water. Can you hear your own heartbeat? Listen. Into the dark I go to release my mind and find my soul. Do you notice how your sense of smell changes? You can smell moisture on the wind. You can smell the burning of a fire in the distance. You can smell plants that are rotting and beginning to return to the soil. Can you smell and feel your breath as you exhale? Inhale. Exhale. Into the dark I go to release my mind and find my soul. And because we cannot see clearly with our eyes, we need to use our sense of touch. As your hand touches the bark of a tree, how does it feel? Is it smooth? Is it coarse? As your hands reach down to grab some soil, how does it feel as you squeeze it between your fingers? How do your hands feel? Are they soft? Are they rough? Are they strong? Has arthritis made them misshapen? Touch. Into the dark I go to release my mind and find my soul. Listen to your heartbeat. Focus on your breath. Allow the darkness to envelop you, embrace you, speak to you. I'm going to ask you to take a few minutes and just focus of that place in the dark. Explore. Where is your soul? What does it want you to know? What can it reveal to you? What comfort can it bring? What wisdom does it hold? Hold the dark in silence until you hear the chime. Into the dark I go to release my mind and find my soul. Take another breath. Return to the light. But I hope that you will return and explore the darkness often during this season. Alrighty. Okay, so once again, because I've dreamt of you always being my choir, we're going to learn another song. Yay! By the way, rehearsals are Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. I expect you all there. Okay. I will sing it through once, and then you can join me. Children of the earth, we have come to sing to each other, sister and brother, songs of our Mother Earth. Let's try it. Children of the earth, we have come to sing to each other, sister and brother, songs of our Mother Earth. Children of the earth, autumn soon will breathe her last breath, and quick will her death bear witness to winter's birth. Children of the earth, can you feel the air getting cold as darkness takes cold and sleep covers Mother Earth? Children of the earth, we have come to sit in the darkness, breathe in the silence, think of our Mother Earth. Thank you.
As we close our service with the lighting of our chalice, I will read to you The Shortest Day by Susan Cooper. And so the shortest day came, and the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world, people came singing, dancing to drive the dark away. They lighted some candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight. This shortest day, as promise wakens in the sleeping land, they carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends and hope for peace. And now, so do we, here, now, this year, and every year. Welcome you all. My friends, know that this place, know that each other will always be a light. And know that the darkness is here to nurture you. Do not be afraid. Blessed be.
the